This is an AST, short tenancy agreement, lodger agreement, tenancy agreement, whatever you want to call it. Do you need a tenancy agreement for your lodgers, for your tenants, for the people them who's occupying your property? Do you really need paperwork? In my opinion, I don't really think it makes a difference, you know. If someone's not going to pay the rent, they're not going to pay the rent. So the reason why I thought about making this video, and I did think about it a while ago as well. I was supposed to go and meet one of the tenants yesterday. And I said to her the day before, which was Friday, yeah, I'm going to come and meet you down near the Northampton Town Centre tomorrow, which is Saturday. What time are you available? She said around 2, 3 o'clock and that. So boom, next day, man's phoned her up to say, yeah, just to double check that she's going to be available and that. She said, yeah, I put down the phone. I said, okay, cool, I'll meet you there in about an hour. And when it came time for me to jump in my car to go down and meet this girl, I thought to myself, hey, let me phone her and make sure that she's got the deposit and 1 month's rent up front, because I'm going to take her, I'm going to go and meet her so she can sign the tenancy agreement and that. So she said she ain't got the money at the moment. Well, I said to her, well, there's no point you signing it now, innit? Yeah, we'll sign it closer to the time of you planning to move in, and obviously you need to have the money as well, innit? Because my tenants them, my lodgers them, they ain't signing no tenancy agreement, they ain't getting no key without handing over 1 month's deposit and 1 month's rent. And I'll remind them that if they fail to pay their rent, I'll serve them their notice and they have to leave. But most people think that, you know, you need a tenancy agreement and that, and you really don't. You really don't. Me, I like to have it in place just to make me look professional, because I don't switch up how I am. Yeah, I might not use as much slang words when I talk to people, but I don't change my accent. Man, don't start talking high pitch and professional and that. Man, just, I am the way I am. Like I said, I might not use as much slang words and that, but I'm not going to change the way I am. So I may have come across a little bit unprofessional. I believe I come across down to earth. I believe I come across like a normal human being and that don't try and put on a professional act and that. But I like to have a tenancy agreement just so the tenants feel like this is something legit. Because how many young black men do you find as landlords and that? Most landlords are not black. Most landlords are not young. I ain't that young. Man's nearly 30, but I've got a young face and that. So I just like to produce the tenancy agreement so the tenants them know or feel like it's legit. They feel like I ain't some rogue landlord that's just gonna take their money and that, and then don't give them no key and run off with the money and that. But for the most part, I don't think the tenancy agreement is really needed and that. Right. I wouldn't personally like to give my property over to an estate agent and that, because estate agents really and truly, they don't care. They ain't really got an invested interest. You know, if you stop paying rent, or the tenants and that stop paying rent, then they stop paying rent. They're not gonna go around there angry. They're not gonna go around there and stick it on them. It's not their property. They don't really care. They ain't gonna have that passion. They ain't gonna have that drive for it. Like even one of my brethren asked me to manage his property and that. And I just told him, no, first and foremost, if something goes wrong, because this is a business deal, he's paying me to manage his property. If something goes wrong, then me and him are going to stop talking. I don't want to jeopardize my friendship over a look at idiot £300 a month that I might be getting. Maybe £200 a month. I'm not going to be doing no work, just overseeing it. But if something happens, you know, us human beings nowadays, we've got the ultimate abundance mindset. Any little disagreement with a brethren and we just cut them off. Man could have been friends for all 12, 20 years and that. We just cut them off. Drop them like a bad habit. So that's why I didn't want to do that. Secondly, I wouldn't have that passion, that drive. If they're not paying the rent, I wouldn't have that passion, that drive to really want to stick it on them and kick them out. Because me, I can't be fake. If it's not my property, I'm not going to care as much. I'm not going to pretend to care as much. So that's why I didn't want to take over my brethren's property and that. But one thing you can do, obviously I don't know if us normal people have the, I don't know if it's legal for us to do it, but basically if we was to look at someone's credit report, that would be a good indicator to see if someone's responsible with money. See, people want to do credit checks to see if people default and that. Do you know what the main thing about a credit check is? Like what a credit check actually shows, whether this person is responsible with money. So if you look at someone's credit check, their credit report, and they got bare defaults, they're in bare debt, they don't pay things on time and that. They're irresponsible with money. That's not the type of person that you want moving in your yard, you know. I've had people phone up about my rooms in the past and say, oh, will you allow someone to be a guarantor? No. If I can't guarantee that you're going to pay the rent, why am I going to want to rely on someone else to pay your rent? I don't want no one living in my yard that's not paying the rent. That's why I'll never take on anyone who's got better on benefits. And I want someone in the yard who is going to be going to work and paying the rent out of their own pocket, not relying on the government. What if the government cut their benefits and that? I don't know what's going on with their team. You never know. The job centre might say, well, boy, you haven't looked for jobs in the last 2 weeks and that, so we're cutting your benefits and that. How are they going to pay the rent? I don't know. I don't understand the thing. I ain't trying to understand the thing. I don't want no one who's not paying rent out of their own pocket, out of their own wages to be living in my yard. But yeah, I've watched a lot of them programs there. Slum landlords, rogue tenants, or rogue landlords, slum land tenant. I don't even know what the hell the thing's called, innit? But this tenancy agreement thing, it don't really mean nothing. It don't really mean nothing. I'm gonna show you a video right now.
Get the fuck off my property now. Get off. Leave. Go on. Leave. Get him out my way, or I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking lever him.
Right, Dean.
You're gonna cause shit here. You're gonna get a guy hurt here. Yeah, you are.
Dean.
You think I'm not serious, you fucking stupid prick?
Dean.
Do you think I'm not serious? No. Fuck off. No. Get off my land. Get the fuck away. Get off. Get the fuck off. Go. Go on, prick. Go on. That's it. Fuck off. Yeah, my land. Yeah. What? No, now you're on, are you? No, fuck you, I know the law. Go on, fuck you. Go on. Kiss my white ass, you prick. Fuck off. Tough nut. Yeah, I am tough. No, you're out of your fucking way. You're taking a fucking big fucking cripple.
For him to stoop low and start making, you know, personal comments about how I walk. And fortunately, you know, I battled an aggressive disease. At least I can walk, you know, I didn't think I'd be able to walk.
What are you going to do, plastic man? You're going to do nothing. You're going to listen. I'm going to see you in court. You're going to pay me a very handsome fine of money. Because your wallet is not above the law, yeah? You're really pretty thick, aren't you? And a bully. You bully people around here. I know the law better than you prick. You try to come in my house again, I'm prepared for you, dickhead.
What started as a simple dispute over late rent has spiralled into an ugly standoff.
Can you not, Paul? You won't be able to live with yourself when I finish with you. Go on, Paul. Piss off. Paul, really?
I just want to give you this. I just want to give you this.
I'm giving you a warning. You come anywhere near me, I'm going to snap your fucking neck. Give it him, I'll talk to him. Do not push me, because you will never see the light of day, really.
All I have to do is give you this, Dean.
No, give it him to give it me and I'll read it. That's all I want to do. You give it him? No, because I can't just sell me, because I want to fucking hit you.
I don't know why you're being like that.
Because you're a prick. No. Really? I'll shove that stick so far at your ass, you'll have a human kebab, you prick.
Dean,
whatever.
He has to physically hand it you.
Let me just give you this,
no,
then I can go.
No, give it to him. Go home.
Go on.
Go home, I know where you live. Tell that labour. No, here, Paul, do you want me to whack you? I really will. You come in, I swear to God. You want to? I'll give you enough warning. Right, come on, you bitch.
Dean,
just take the letter. Just take it.
No, fuck! No.
Take the letter and we're done.
You're a prick. I'm going to end you. Get him away.
That guy there, before he got the keys to the property, he signed a tenancy agreement. He signed on the dotted line to say, yes, master, yes, sir. Oh, yes, Mr. Estate Agent, I will pay my rent every month on time. If someone's not going to pay the rent, they're not going to pay the rent. Who cares about a damn contract? This is England. Don't get it twisted. Man, love the country I live in, but we got some stupid ass laws in this country, you know. A man can get away with not paying rent, you know. Everyone knows the law. Everyone in this country knows that if they decide to stop paying rent, then that's what they're going to do. And you're going to take them about 2 years to get this idiot out of your yard. You know, right now, yeah, all the landlords, them that's possibly watching, the landlords to be, Yeah, you put some nice little tenancy agreement, thou shalt pay the rent on time and that. If they decide, you know what, I ain't paying the rent, what you gotta do? You can't really do nothing. Obviously, you can risk yourself going in jail and that, but you can't really do nothing. This is the type of country we live in. What's the point of having a tenancy agreement? Like I said, I've got it in place just so, you get me, it looks professional. Just so they think I'm not gonna rip them off. So that they think, you know, I'm not some dodgy guy and that. Obviously, I've outlined in here, like, you get me, what you're responsible for looking after and that. Kettle, iron, making sure that you don't damage the place, no smoking in the property and that. But if they're not gonna pay rent, they're gonna stop paying rent. All the tenants on this, all the tenants, 90% of tenants that stop paying rent have all signed a tenancy agreement to say that they'll pay rent on the 1st of every month. 6 months into it, they stop. The best thing you can do is be that type of person that they don't even want to cross. My tenants don't play with me, you know, when it comes to money. They pay every... Man been doing this landlord thing, like with this property here, man used to rent it out and rent it out for a solid 18 months to 2 years. Always had someone in the property and that. So let's say I've had about, let's say in the 2 years, I've always had someone, 2 people renting the property and that. Call that 48 months worth of rent. Yeah, call it, let's call it 36 months worth of rent. And then I've been renting out my flat for about 6 months. So call it about 42 months worth of renting I've got experience in. Not one time has anyone failed to pay the rent. I've even had man in July, they're planning a little holiday for the beginning of September. So they've paid me August's rent and they've paid me September's rent up front. Because a man don't even want to be on holiday and forget to pay the rent and that. Because he might come back and see his bags out on the street, you know, though. He might have to come back and go to the lost property to go and find these things. The reason why I've never had anyone play me about when it comes to rent is because I am the way I am. Yeah, you see my personality, my delivery and that. I told you already, when the tenants them come to view the property, I'd stick it on them straight away, at least within the first 5 minutes. If you fail to pay the rent, I'll serve you a notice, you need to leave. Yeah, if I get 20 people in, that might scare off 5 of them. And 5 of those people could have been people that, you know, would pay rent and that, but they don't even want to deal with a ratchet ass landlord like me. And next 2-3 of them that might scare them off as well, you know. But you know what? I'd rather lose some of the people them who would pay rent, but they just, you know, might be intimidated. But also I'm still filtering out the people them that are looking to take the piss if they can. So yeah, I might get 20 people view a room or view the property and that. And I might scare off 8 of them. 5 of them might be good tenants, 3 of them might be bad. I'd rather do that. I'd rather scare off people. I'd rather have an empty room, empty property with no one paying rent. It's costing me, rather than have some dickhead in my yard not paying rent, living for free. Yeah, any day. Any day. I'd rather scare off people and not have no one paying rent rather than just getting anybody in there. But then, okay, cool. You're just getting anybody in there. They pay rent for 2, 3, 6 months and that. But then it's taking you 18 months to get them out. This is the game. This is the game. That guy that was acting up, acting mad in that video, he signed on the dotted line to say that he was going to pay rent on time. Look how he was acting. Stay away. Done.